and they were plotting to remove Koolu on Nigeria's Independence Day. But the military got wind of it, and they arrested the coupists. But initially, it was reported that they arrested these 16 soldiers for dereliction of duty, right? Failure to pass their promotional exams and other kind of accusations. But digging further, they said no, that wasn't the reason why they were currently arrested or detained. But a lot of people have been reacting to that, and we are also going to react. But before our own reactions, right, I'm going to pick on what people are feeling about this. APC, Egbekegbe, is full of propaganda, 100%. If APC tells you that tomorrow is 19th of this month, I will still implore you to please check your own calendar. If APC tells you that, okay, what time is it now? Okay, it's going to be 9 o'clock in the next 45 minutes, kind of, right? I will advise you to check your time. So this is why we want to look into this. So during Bokwari's time, they did drop this kind of news or story in their news. And we never get to know these coup plotters. We never get to know their names, where they are from, and the rest. But in the time of Tinubu's own, who seemed to have concluded the process of the state capture in Nigeria. So who else is going to have the resources that can infiltrate the already corrupt military, where most of them are like billionaires, by the way? So who is going to have that kind of resources right now in Nigeria of today that will be funding a coup against Tinubu? Looking around, right? But there are those who don't believe the story. That's the point. You know what I mean now? However, in the snippet of what they released about a coup, a supposed aborted coup in Nigeria, right? They mentioned the name of they didn't mention the name. They just said there's the leader, the Brigadier General planning this coup. Their leader is the brother to the former governor of Nasarawa State. Remember that guy, Alimakura, right? So they said the leader of this 16 member coup plotters, right? That is the brother to the man who wanted to be the chairman of APC, a Tinubu ally. So it's not like imagine. But others were just like, I mean, if you are planning to carry out a coup or just assassinate the politicians, because according to them, they said their intel, from the intel they gathered, was that the coup was going to take place during the 1st of October, Nigeria's Independence Day. And this will happen when they are doing that military march past and all this military parade and all that stuff. And they said that is the reason why they had to cancel the 65th Independence Parade in Nigeria, simply because they were able to get these guys who were plotting to assassinate Tinubu and then declare the military takeover in Nigeria, because they want to get rid of the, in quotes, corrupt politicians who have held Nigeria down for too long. And others are like, what is it going to be like though? Because me, I have said it too. As worse as this your fake democracy is, don't ever say yes to any coup. Instead of you to say yes to any coup in that contraption, it will even be better and ideal for you to put your entire support behind the peaceful breakup of the contraption, the peaceful breakup of Nigeria. Any coup will be more brutal than what these overfed criminals, right, are doing. And then it will be under their, their guns and all that, which means more people will likely actually die fighting them than how many that will die on. Well, people are dying now anyway. I'm just saying. So instead of backing any form of coup, because I saw reactions of people where they felt like, they should have succeeded. You know, there are those who are already like calling for coup that the election can't kick APC out, right? They won't allow you to protest anything you disagree with, and they won't let your vote count. So, what are the soldiers doing? Watching Nigeria become this, like what it is, right? So, hearing the news that there is a failed coup. I think I had what do you call it? I had a screenshotted part of that because I had to grab it, right? So, according to the guy, he said the ringleader of the coup is one Lieutenant Colonel Alimakura. We have been walking around to try to get the image of this Colonel Alimakura. All right. So they said, don't be confused because we have two Alimakuras in the army, two brothers, and both are Lieutenant Colonel. One is the commanding officer of 343 Artillery Regiment in LLA. Though he was detained briefly, but he was released last night, Friday, after investigation showed he wasn't involved in the planned coup plot by his brother and others. And then read on. He said the accused Lieutenant Colonel Al-Bakura just came back from a course in China and was posted to the NSA office, Ribadom's office. That's where the person who led the coup to topple them is coming from. So they posted him. He just came back from China, on training from China. So, which is like, Nigeria military training somewhere in China. And he just came back. And when he came back, he got arrested, right? So he is a no-nonsense infantry officer and very popular in Maiduguri, Borno State. Both Alumakuras are nephew of the former Nigerian governor, Nasarawa governor. Seeing the full list of the accused officers, most of them are from northern Nigeria. Sadly, the young ones among them were deceived to join the plan. None of them has access to their family members currently. That's the story they put in the media. You know that normally, right? Normally, this would be like, it was supposed to be like a big thing. That some group of soldiers, they were planning to overthrow the government. You understand? That's automatic treason. You get that now? So treasonable felony is death sentence. So even if they had to do military court martial and the rest of that, it is still ideal to know them so that you can probe them. But for this Almakura now, we can possibly dig further. So to put it out there that there was a coup plot against Koolu, and then you see people that they're like, with mixed reactions, like, I don't believe it. I mean, if there was really, really a coup, Tinubu and the rest of them, right? They can't beat them. So it's just one of these APC propaganda to continue to drop them in there. out there, so that others will pick on this and say, oh, they know they couldn't defeat Tinubu. They are trying to sponsor coup, to remove him and the rest of that. But from northern Nigeria, right. So that will give it a bit of, okay, if we can get the names of these officers out of the 16 of them, they are mostly northerners. So definitely the north possibly has any other plan. If you have to follow that lead, you just be like, it's APC. Can you actually believe them? APC is that child that cry wolf. Everybody rush out and say, where's the wolf? As I was just joking. And cry wolf again. Like then when the real wolf comes and they cry wolves, everybody was like, no, just ignore him. So that sometimes is what APC is. But most of the time they even have to create their own kind of like news. Right? It will lead to nowhere, right? But don't understand why they do that, though, right? But National Security Advisor, Rebat Dump, who was with Koolu in France, and they returned back to Abuja. I think it was last night or thereabout. So we hope they will let us see the faces and the names of these coup plotters. And if it is actually true, if it happened to be true, well, it may just be a sign of what is still to come. Something bigger than just a coup or a protest or election. Something that they will likely not be able to undo if they figure out that some people or some military soldiers are indeed plotting to remove a Koolu. It's all mixed up, right? So yesterday, when Koolu was still in Rome, I met with what's his name again? Said it's Trump's envoy to Africa, Bolos, something Marcel Bolos or something. Give me a second. I'm going to figure out the name. So they said this guy represents Trump in like envoy means like represented the US in African and Arabian Peninsula matter. So met with Koolu, and after their meeting, he spoke to the NTA where he was kind of like asked about this, the story and the story of American. It's not even a story, right? The effort of the American congressman and senator making the move to put Nigeria under watch, where Christians are being persecuted in the world, being killed, and all that. So that bill then will make it look like the killings in Nigeria is basically religious. A narrative that they believe will be much injurious to them, that will help if it sticks, right? That it will help the US, okay, to place embargo on so many of them, all these politicians, and even on Nigeria. This, but they are like their own pushback. So meeting somebody from Trump's administration, who was then asked, and he just said, well, there is no religious killings in Nigeria. There is no, you know what I mean? Like the Muslims are also being killed. The bottom line is that whether Muslims or Christians, Nigerians are being genocided in their country by armed terrorists. Armed terrorists that the government of Nigeria seemed to have become so overwhelmed. Now, since they do not want to admit that they have been overwhelmed, they have been compromised, and the rest of that. So they had to use this video I'm about to play, right? They had to use that to convince themselves that, oh, then maybe it's not, maybe it's not that bad then, since we can push back and say, oh, it's just killings going on in Nigeria. There is nothing called religious killings or Muslims, you know what I mean? So people started digging into the background of the guy himself first. So this Bolus or Bolas or something, right? Mossad said it's that Mossad Bolus. Yeah, that's his name. Mossad something Bolus. After meeting with Koolu.
Fine, good to see you. Good to see you as well. So see you. We last saw in Paris. Yes, Paris.
There's a narrative coming from the US at the moment, disturbing to some people in Nigeria, and that's about religious persecution. That is not the position of the government, certainly. It's that of the Senator Cruz, I guess. And what is the position of US governments regarding this?
This is certainly unfortunate, of course. Any incident, any loss of life is absolutely unfortunate. Those who know the terrain well, know that terrorism has no color and no religion and no tribe. People of all religions and all tribes are dying as a result of terrorist acts. But it's very unfortunate. We even know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Muslims than Christians. So people are suffering from all sorts of backgrounds. This is not specifically targeted about one group or the other. However, any loss of life is too many. One is too many. And we should work together in partnership to put an end to this. With regards to, there are other incidents that happen to be in the Middle Belt, for example, where farmers are located. Most of these farmers happen to be Christian, and some herdsmen are going through, and they have these incidents. But we definitely, it's not something that we can say is specifically targeted about a specific group. However, we must work together to put an end to this. The Nigerian government and the President Tinubu's administration have recently taken additional measures and put more resources in those areas. And we've seen some improvements in recent weeks. We appreciate those measures, and we definitely look forward to more of those, and we look forward to ending these sorts of acts wherever they come from. And we know that Nigeria is a melting pot. Nigeria is a country in which all sorts of religious groups and other groups, ethnic and tribal and other groups are living together in harmony for centuries. And Nigerian population is split 50-50 probably between Christians and Muslims. So this has never been a serious religious issue and should not be. But we appreciate what President Tinubu has done, and we shall continue to work together to make sure.
We actually had to go and check to be sure that it's not like the hired bishops that they hired for the endorsement of Muslim tickets, remember? So the update showed that is Donald Trump's envoy. So the Arabian Peninsula and African affairs. Do you get that now? So he is originally from the Middle East. Do you get? So, boy, it's like Middle Eastern American that way. Just like you have Nigerian American, you have. So he said we have been living together in peace and harmony for centuries. Do you know 1 century is 100 years? We have not lived together in peace and harmony. No. Everybody respected their territories, and the Fulanis who are killing the people in Nigeria. All right? The Fulani terrorists who are killing people in Nigeria. Now, don't get it twisted, though, so that we don't kind of major in minor and minor in major. I don't even know what that means, but anyway, here is a thing you need to understand. All right? The Fulani terrorists who have been very much like mobilized enough fighters, like their own soldiers. They are running into like tens of thousands across Nigeria. So then we also have the Boko Haram, the ISWAP. Boko Haram first started, right? It was the Boko Haram. And the Boko Haram, you know what that means? The book is Haram. Western education is Haram. So they were categorically targeting communities that, schools, burning down schools and telling people not to send their children to school. So in the states where the population is majorly Muslim, especially in Core North, where this is really suffered. Do you get that now, right? You now get to probe further and realize that, the selected communities that the Boko Haram actually really targeted. Apart from the military formation, sure you get targeting military formations, attacking the military, and killing soldiers and all that, which is also part of it. But I'm talking about their targets, the communities they were going, right? They were communities that are majorly Christian communities.